Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, no, well, okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Colin Smith Brooks. I know this episode is going to talk about, the programming problems, bro. Because as I said, we're going back into one of my previous goals, which was to kind of build a website or whatnot. And, it's the website is, the programming lifestyle is a whole different lifestyle. Back in the days, I was pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at it, but programming was pretty frustrating, and getting back into it kind of reminded me why why it was frustrating. But the difference between now and back then is that back then it was pure talent, pure talent, but now it's more of experience, more experience. So I'm coming in not as a rookie that just basically know to program. It's like me as a person that kind of knows that I've built something. I know what I kind of should be doing. Not saying I'm a pro or not, but I have a better blueprint in my mind as to what I am supposed to do. Not coming in as a rookie. I guess this so what I've been doing now was kind of learn how to use the first tool, which was the GitHub repository, because eventually when I'm going to program and stuff like that, that's one of the places where I'm going to store the code. So I was going to learn GitHub and the Git, you know. I guess that's one of the first places I need to start. I know going through and finding this tutorial from this guy, a reliable guy, that can teach me how to do it. I was following the instruction and then I reached this part and then I realized that I couldn't do it. And I was wondering why. So I realized that, oh, maybe I did install Git on it. So I installed it, did what, did what Google, what's the problems, solve it, and it still didn't work. I was like, why, bro? Why? So the whole night I was there trying to figure it out until I had to stop and said, oh, you know what? Let me just stop. Because I'll go to sleep. And then when I had time again, I started to try again. And what happened was I I went to sleep and I turned off the computer. And what happened was when I was ready to start back up the tutorial again and see if I can solve the problem, I did it and tried and it worked. I was like, wow, bro. I just realized that when I installed the thing, it needed to restart. I was like, bro, so that was one of the frustrating things about programming. Programming is very strict. It's very strict about what they do, and if one simple mistake can have you for hours trying to figure out that what one problem. So that was one of the first most frustrating thing that I remind myself of. But I think now I'm kind of more mature. I'm more mature, so I won't say these things won't happen, but I think hopefully my troubleshooting effort should be more better. Because it should be more better because I think I have a better approach this time. You know, but this programming journey is going to be a thing. I guess what looking at it, it's going to take a while. Maybe it won't be finished until next year. But the thing about it is that the thing about it is that if I get the skills right, then it's just transferable to other things. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing. I just want to get the skills right, do it the right way, and get one of the website up. And then what happened now, I have the core skills down. Then I'll have to do just work on making it look better and specs and stuff like that. Start adding on stuff. But if I get the fundamental better, I kind of build out the website ideas that I had from way back when, and then I start to you know release them. Yeah, so that's basically this episode. And to remind people, I don't want to get into programming. Is a very strict. It's a very strict what do you call it, field, similar to science, but the difference between the computer science is science, but the thing about it and the science stuff is that the science stuff you're going in with a hypothesis. You're going in with a theory and trying to prove that it's fact. With computer science, you know what you're doing, but some BS always just prevent you from reaching to the destination that you try to reach. So I guess that's the difference between computer science and the real science. So the science, real science, you're trying to prove something. With computer science, you know what you're trying to do, but it's just the road to get there. Yeah, man. So that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for our next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
When something you hate all of a sudden becomes something you love. And it's a topic because I guess when you're growing up, certain things you really just don't like to do. Like for example, chores and such like that. And it will be a frustrating thing because one of the things, I'm older now where I kind of realized why chores and stuff like that was kind of frustrating was because how little, how little I was, and then doing those tasks. But then it was like, it was like, it was like a mountain of things. It's like, you're a small, you're ant climb a mountain. That's how it feels when you're small and doing all those chores. But now that you're older, you're more stronger and more able to do those stuff. Some of those tasks become more